The girls are on location at Bottlenecks in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Today we have a special guest with us, don't we?
Yes, we do. He is a special guest, and he's a musical guest, so you're going to be entertained not only by us, but also by Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Radford. He is a pop singer, and he's in the greater Hazleton area today, and we're happy to be here at Bottlenecks in Wilkes-Barre to talk about your career and what you're doing.
Oh, I'm kind of all over the place right now. I'm playing a lot of live shows in a lot of different cities. I'm from St. Louis, but currently residing in Nashville, Tennessee, and from there, I've been to Atlanta, to here in Hazleton and Wilkes-Barre, and just kind of all over. So wherever the road takes me, that's where I go.
Yeah, well, I love music, and I know a lot of our viewers out there love music. They might not know you specifically, so we want to tell them about your background. And you were on the Sam LaSan show a couple months ago. How'd that go for you? I know this is the -- show, but we like to tease them.
Yeah, that was just the training show.
So I'm moving up, right?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Everything's. Wait, what was the question again? Go back.
How was the show?
How was the show? Well, the show was great. He kind of threw some curveballs at me with the questions, so I don't know what you're going to throw at me. I mean, you put me on the spot, so I had to think fast. And I do remember that time. It was around February, I believe, and I was kind of battling the whole flu. Not the flu, but Sam didn't get sick, did he? I don't think he did.
Sam's always sick, so we wouldn't know the difference.
Fair enough. No, but it was a fun interview because I remember I was sniffing the whole time every time he would ask me a question. Well, Sam, let me tell you about that. So it's nice to be here and not be sniffing the whole time through the show.
All right.
But it was fun. It was a good time.
So what's your background?
My background, which part? Musically? Personally?
Let's start there.
Musically, my background was, music wasn't really a big part of my life growing up, believe it or not, and I could always sing, and it never registered, it never clicked, and it wasn't anything I did. My mom, she taught school, and where we went to school, it was a smaller place, and there was really no music, and there was no outlet for it. If anything, you played basketball, and that's what I did. I played basketball, and ended up switching schools when I was about 15 years old, and from there I got into choir, and that's when it kind of took off, and I started singing, and sang through high school, got into choir, did that, was an all-state my junior year, and went from there to college, and went to college on a partial vocal scholarship, and from there, singing there, I started to play guitar. I started playing piano, and it's just since continued to grow. So
well, where did the writing start? How did you start writing your own music?
Honestly, I don't know. It's really funny that you say that. At some point, I woke up. You wake up, and it's just as if I'm a writer too. And I guess I'm lucky. My mom, like I said, she was a teacher. She was an English teacher. So
you said your mom passed away.
She did. She passed when I was 15 years old. And obviously I did a lot of reading. It wasn't forced upon me, but books were very common, and writing, and it was just something that I fell into and became good at. And I can remember in college they wanted me to take extra writing courses. Said that one teacher one time, she said, "You're a really great writer," and this is fictional writing. This isn't songwriting or anything like that. No poems, nothing crazy. She said, but you should really work on, continue writing and honing your craft. So, of course, I take all these writing classes, nothing to do with songwriting, but I guess somewhere, along the lines when I was, playing music and I was working with some other artists, and they said, writing is where it's at. Writing, it really gets you places.
Sure.
You can't just rely on talent alone or just singing or playing. If you can write, you don't even have to be in front of the stage, be on the stage in front of the camera. You can just write, and that's going to help you get places. So from there, I kind of took, writing and started doing it, and just continued writing and expanding on it. And then I guess at some point I kind of woke up and I said, oh, I guess I'm a songwriter too. So
now you're not from northeastern Pennsylvania, but your connection to our area here is through Chelsea, your manager.
It is, yeah.
So how did that happen?
It actually happened, we met each other doing what's called Musicians on Call. Mm-hmm. It's a nonprofit organization. They supply musicians and a guide to go to hospitals and perform for the patients. So that was my first, we met my first time doing Musicians on Call. And she was my guide before you don't just go in as a musician and say, hey, can I sing? There's a guide who knocks on the door, says, hey, we're from Musicians on Call. Would you all be interested in playing some live music? So Chelsea was my first guide for Musicians on Call, and that's how we met. And we started talking about music and kind of what our career paths were going to be. And from there, it just kind of took off, and we started working together.
That was a great experience.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's a really cool thing to do, and it's so funny because, you know, as the performer, as the guy who's sitting there playing, you know, sometimes you think, okay, I don't know if this person's actually enjoying it or not. You know, they might hate me, and then you get them playing, and they say, that was amazing, thank you, you know, and they just really enjoy it. Or, you know, you might have someone who doesn't necessarily say a whole lot, but their foot will start tapping or something like that. Right. You know, to sort of bring that to a setting that's as, you know, like a hospital. That's cool to do.
Now you're doing something that you love, but your profession is, you know, it's rough to get into the profession and really make it big. So I commend you for following, you know, your heart, your passion, what you really love to do is music, and it seems like your career really has taken off.
Yeah, it's definitely growing. It's you have to be very patient, very patient, and take things one day at a time, and take the good with the bad, because there's as much equal of either side. And, you know, just be persistent and not give up, because if you give up, then where you're left, you're definitely not going to do it then. Right. So it's just being persistent and, you know, rolling with the punches.
And you're doing something that you love, so along the way you're still enjoying yourself. Yeah. You're expressing yourself with writing. You have to be creative to begin with, because you're tapping into those inward juices of, you know, the creativity, your feelings, your emotions. Yeah. So
we're going to hear Jeff sing in just a bit, but so everyone knows your genre is pop.
Yeah, it is. I would say it's not as much. I use the term kind of bubblegum pop. I think there's some that's just kind of thrown out there. You know, I think the first record that we just released, it's definitely commercially driven. I think as it grows and evolves, and as I continue to write and grow as an artist, I believe that it's going to start taking on more of a blues, soulful R&B feel, because that's kind of who I am and what I grew up listening to and working on. So, you know, it is pop, but I think there's a lot of, you know, organic, soulful elements to where this path is taking me to. So I'm excited.
Well, your life changes every day too, so I guess things around you are inspiring.
And you learn and you grow, and it's never ending.
All right, so when we come back here on The Girls, again, we're at Bottlenecks in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. We're going to hear Jeff perform. Stay with us.
Tonight, could I hold your hand? Would that be that bad? If we were in public tonight, I need to know where I stand. Could I be your man? Would you let me love you? 'Cause I've been so close before, and I'm just afraid of what could happen. Just give me a sign that you could be mine forever after. 'Cause I'll give you everything you've ever needed. Never have to go to bed lonely as long as I'm around. Because you won't find a better love than me, baby. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. I'll make your world go round. So tonight, could you let down your head and know that I care? And I'll always be here, 'cause I've been so close before, and I'm just afraid of what could happen. Just give me a sign that you could be mine forever after. So tonight, I'm down on my knees, begging you please, don't ever leave me. Starting tonight, you'll never have to be afraid of the plans that you've made. I'm gonna make them all come true, because I've been waiting so long for someone like you, to let me love them. So here is your sign that you will be mine forever after.
Wow. That's your baby, right?
That's my baby. It's
That's
my
your
baby. Yeah.
And the name of that song?
It's called Forever After.
Beautiful.
Forever After.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll remember it forever after. I never sat next to an entertainer when they're actually singing. I felt all the emotion.
Right.
It's so powerful. I was just getting the goosebumps.
Really?
Yeah, I really
missed
was.
him.
I
Okay,
was. Look,
okay. The hair was standing up.
it was standing right up. I could feel all the emotion there. That's why I know it's your baby.
Thanks for letting me play it for you. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
it was.
So why is that your baby? Why is that your favorite?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's a baby because melodically and structurally, when I sat down, there was no intent to writing it. It was just kind of what came out, and you know, just I personally find it really pretty. And you know, when I was playing, I'm like, you know, I just sat down and I was like, just like finding it and listening to it, and it just grew on me, and it just has a special place. There's honestly, sad to say, there's honestly not necessarily anything, you know, super story behind it or anything like that. But you know, it was just a song that I wrote, and I think at the time I was single, so you know, I wasn't looking for anything. I just was writing it and saying, you know, we've all been in those relationships. You're scared and you don't want to be hurt, and you know, you just that's what happened, and that was the song that, you know, came out, and it was just kind of an ode to forever after. And I don't even know where the word or term forever after came from, but it was kind of an ode to, you know, until the end of time.
Sure.
You're gonna get what you want.
Now, you just said something there that was so important. You said when you were single, you wrote it. That means you're taken.
I am taken right now.
And that's the name.
Oh, the name of the CD, Taken, and you can find that song on the CD, right?
You can. It's track 9. I know where all the tracks are on there.
Track right.
See, Forever After was track 12. So, if you're listening at home, if you've ordered a CD from me, which you should do,
Absolutely, you should order one.
Talk about the
at www.jeffradford.com. No, but if you're listening and following along at home, Forever After is track 12, and then Taken is track number 9. So
all you girls are disappointed out there. He's taken, but you could still go out and see you.
Yeah,
You're
all
gonna be
day, they can-
performing
definitely.
all over. You could check, as you said, on your website, and we'll be able to check and see where you're performing, so they could follow you.
Yeah.
I know Janine's one of your groupies.
Am I?
don't
Thanks.
We have
You're not?
groupies.
I am.
We're your new groupies. We're your new groupies.
I'm excited to hear, you know, your song, the primary song, Taken, on here. And when we come back on The Girls, we'll hear more from Jeff Radford. Again, we're at Bottlenecks in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, speaking with an upcoming rising star, Jeff Radford.
Across the room, you're staring at me, girl, and I can't move. I'm underneath your spell, still I refuse to to make the same mistakes. I just can't lose everything, because you're taking over every part of me. Am I simply helpless or too blind to see? I've been waiting, baby, oh so patiently. It's time to dim the lights, only you and me. I'm taking the way you move underneath that dress. You brush my hand and take away my breath and all the loves I thought I loved before are all forgotten in a different world, because you're taking over every part of me. Am I simply helpless or too blind to see? I've been waiting, baby, oh so patiently. It's time to dim the lights, only you and me. I'm taking because you're taking over every part of me. Am I simply helpless or too blind to see? I've been waiting, baby, oh so patiently. It's time to dim the lights. It's only you and me. I'm taking. No. Dim the lights, girl. Whoa, over, yeah. No. Yeah. Because you're taking over every part of me. It's time to dim the lights, only you and me.
All right. Jeff Radford is our guest on The Girls, and he's taken for now, ladies. But we shall see, right?
Yeah, tell us about your girlfriend now. Now, is she go on the road with you, or what?
No, she's currently a full-time photographer. She's based out of St. Louis, and she's doing great work there. And so she's kind of doing that gig, and I'm kind of doing my gig. We've kind of talked about potentially maybe teaming up and going on the road in a Airstream trailer, you know, mobile music. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nice, on the road.
But yeah, she's got a pretty extensive client base, and she works kind of all over in California here, Florida, Keys. So kind of works out. We're both kind of vagabonds, kind of all over the place.
And where did you meet her?
Do we have time for that story?
I don't know.
Sure,
do
we do.
Girls do.
Because it's a
We went
story.
over
It's a
this
story.
stuff.
It's a
We went
story.
over this
Okay. So I gotta think about how candid I can really be about this story, because it's a good story. So currently reside in Nashville. Went back to St. Louis to do some networking with some music people, some video cats. So I'm out later that night. It's a Sunday night. It's Cinco de Mayo. And I'm out with a guy who we've done some video work together, and we're just having a couple of brews and talking about things, and we're out in the county, and you know, then he's like, well, this is kind of dead, let's go downtown. And all I'm thinking is, okay, you know, I'm old, I'm getting old, gosh, I don't even want to, I don't want to go downtown. But, all right, well, I'm game, let's go play. So we go. And you know, he wants to hit on girls. So I'm like, all right, let's hit on girls, and that's fine. So we're doing that. And at this point, we've probably had a couple tequila drinks.
It sounds like a good song.
It is. There's a good song in there somewhere. So, you know, at that point, we're getting ready to go home, and I say, you know, man, we have to take a cab. I said, you know, I'm coherent, but I don't need to be on the roads.
Right.
Always
Smart.
take a cab. Don't drink and drive,
drink and
ever.
drive.
So there's my PSA for the day.
Love it.
So he's like, oh no, he's like, I can drive. I said, no, you cannot drive. I said, you've had just as much to drink as me. We're gonna take a cab. He's like, well, wait, my ex-girlfriend lives downtown. Let's call her.
No.
Like, okay. Now, mind you.
Friend's ex-girlfriend.
Yes, it gets.
Oh,
It's 1:30 in the morning. Okay, it's
This is a song. Like
yeah.
this might be a
It's
movie.
1:30 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning. So So he calls her. She lives in a loft. You have to be buzzed in. And he calls her, and she doesn't answer. And then, you know, he calls another friend, and that girl doesn't answer. And then he calls the ex-girlfriend again, and she doesn't answer again. By the grace of God, someone has ordered Papa John's pizza at 1:30 in the morning for this building. So they have the door open. He looks at me. He's like, Jeff. He says, let's go. The door's unlocked.
No.
I'm just like, I'm along for the ride. Let's win in Rome. So we go. So yes. So we go up to the 6th floor. And I'm off to the side of the door, and he knocks on the door. And she comes to the door, and bless her heart, and, you know, I'm thinking to myself, good Lord, please don't let anything crazy be going on in this apartment. You know, we don't, let's just.
Other than pizza.
Yeah, let's just, well, she didn't order the pizza. That's just how we got in. But I'm just thinking, you know, who knows? I mean, there could be a guy there. There could be lots going down right now. So, needless to say, I'm just thinking all these thoughts, and he knocks on the door, and she comes to the door, and she's dead asleep. I think she still had a retainer in.
I wear a retainer.
That's okay. You have to keep,
keep
the
bright.
teeth nice. So he says, hey, I tried to call you. I tried to text you. She thinks somebody's dead. He's like, but we've had too much to drink. Can I crash your couch? And she says, sure, fine, whatever. And then he says, oh, and by the way, my friend Jeff's with me. And at this point, I'm like, hey.
Oh, surprise.
So we come inside. He's like, well, do you guys want a drink? Da-da-da. So we're like, sure, why not? So we have a couple more drinks. Well, then she turns on some music. So for me, musically, I'm a very big blues, jazz kind of influenced guy. And she turns on this playlist, and it's all Dylan and John Mayer and B.B. King and Muddy Waters.
She had you by the music.
Yeah, she had me. I was like, wait a second, what's going on with it?
This chick's pretty cool.
This girl, yeah. So, you know, I'm already impressed. Well, I'm a huge John Mayer fan. And there above her kitchen sink is a giant picture of her and John together. And I'm just thinking to myself, I said, now wait a second. I said, that's you and that's John and that's you together. And it's not a fan photo. It's them kicking it at a bar in Soho. And I'm just, so we started talking. I'm sure, oh yeah, I met him, blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about that. You know, and then finally she has a guitar over in the corner because she dabbles on it a little bit, and you know, I'm feeling good. The spirits have moved me, and I feel so inclined to pick up this guitar, and I start kind of playing around with it. She's like, so wait a second. She's like, I haven't told her I'm a musician at this point, and she says, so do you know what you're doing with that thing, or are you just messing around? I'm like, sweetheart, please. It's what I do.
And after a couple of drinks.
Yeah, it's my job. And then out of nowhere, my friend, he says, oh yeah, he's really good. Play her this one song. Play her Forever After. And so I play, and then, you know, I guess the rest is history. He ended up going and passing out in her room, and then she and I stay up until 5 in the morning talking about music and just business and careers and, you know, what we've got going for ourselves. And we crashed on the couch, and the
That's
rest
your
is
next song.
Somewhere in there. The rest is history, and
Yeah, I have a good name for it, Finding Her.
finding her. There you
about
go.
it?
There you
So,
go.
you know, we'll see where the road takes us. Taken for now. So
Well, Taken is available for purchase, and you can do so on Jeff Radford's website, right?
it's true. It's very easy to find at jeffradford.com. You can just Google Jeff Radford, and I'm the first one to show up.
He'll be the next pop star.
Something like that.
Right?
Something like that. That's the goal, is to keep moving upward and onwards. So
It was so nice to meet
Well,
you.
thank you for
it was
having me.
wonderful to hear your music, and if you would play us out again, I can't get enough of the music.
This
Don't
is a
forget.
sneak peek from
it
your
is a sneak peek. Now
CD that isn't out yet, so we want to thank you for coming, and thanks for watching The Girls. Jeff, the stage is yours.
they say it's your birthday. Do you think that I care? I know you'll be drinking. Do you even know where to find your heart underneath it all? Only so much makeup can hide your fault. A pretty smile and eyes can make you a queen.